Example for sequential program structure, a program that will convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So in this program, we're going to convert the input value of Celsius to Fahrenheit. So how are we going to do that? So let's have first the equation of the Celsius to Fahrenheit. So the equation of how are we going to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit is equivalent to Fahrenheit is equals to 9 over 5 times Celsius plus 32. So here there are two variables, the Fahrenheit for our output and the Celsius is for our input. So in this case, we're going to declare both the variable declaration in the declaration statement. So here I'm going to declare, so let's say that this is a temperature. A temperature is composed of a decimal value or fractional component. So let's declare it as double type of value. Then we're going to declare Fahrenheit for the variable to Fahrenheit. And then let's make cell for the Celsius. Now, since we have a value here, which is 32, we can actually declare it as a constant variable, or we can use a const keyword, or instead we can directly use and substitute the value of 9 over 5 and the 32. Then please take note that again, we are getting a fractional component value to Fahrenheit. So instead of using 9 and 5, we can actually revise it to 9.0 divided by 5 or 9 divided by 5.0 or both have 0.0. Okay, so 9.0 divided by 5.0. So in the executable statement, we need to ask first the user to input the value in Celsius. So I'm going to use cout, an output statement that displays enter the temperature in Celsius, colon, semicolon. Then to accept the value of the variable cell, we're going to make use of the cin syntax to read the statement or to read the input value, which is the cell variable. And after that, we're going to do the process. So the process is getting the Fahrenheit, or we use Fahrenheit variable. So this is equals to 9.0 divided by 5.0. Then we're going to use times cell value plus 32 semicolon. And right after that, we're going to deal with the output. So by the way, this particular executable statement is what we call the input. So for the output, we need to output already the process variable or process value, which is the Fahrenheit. So I'm going to display cout temperature in Fahrenheit is, and then we are going to use the Fahrenheit. And let's just use NL for displaying the value, whatever value on the next slide. Okay. Let's run the code. So let's make this as sec1. We named it at sec1.cpp. So let's run the code. So here, if you're going to take a look at the output on screen, that's the cout part. So for example, I'm going to input 56. Once you press the enter key, the temperature in Fahrenheit is 132.8. So that's because of the equation. Now, what if I want to make it into decimal places or 3 decimal places? So by default, it's 1 decimal. But if you want to format the value into 2 decimal places, what are we going to do is to add another header file here, including sharp in addition to sharp include IO stream, we're going to also add sharp include IO mani. So for that, we're going to make use of the syntax set precision in fixed, okay, to have a declaration or to deal with a 2 decimal places. So how are we going to do that? On the output part, before displaying the value of Fahrenheit variable, so I'm going to use cout, and then I'm going to use the fixed syntax, and then after the fixed syntax will be the keyword set precision, and then we have in the set precision we have a single parameter, and that single parameter will represent the number of decimal places in a particular output. So let's say for example I put 2, so that means there will be 2 decimal places. Okay, then semicolon. Again, once I'm going to execute the code, and ask the user to input the temperature in Celsius. So let's say, for example, I input 23. Once you press the enter key, the output now displayed must be displayed 2 decimal places or 2 decimal values. But here, why it's not working? Set precision 2. So in this case, previews running, why there is only a single decimal places, because we do not compile it before running. We only only execute the program, not compiling it again. So first, before you debug the code, or after debugging the code, you need to compile it first before you execute the program. So in this case, I already compile and then run the code. So here in the executable, you need to use compile and run instead of run only. So what if you use the run only, the previous code will displayed on screen or run on screen, while compile and run means you are going to compile the current syntaxes or the current code in C++, then execute the program. So here I already used the compile and run. So if I'm going to press again 12, we'll have an output of 2 decimal places since we use the fix and the set precision keyword. So that's the output in converting Celsius to Fahrenheit.